Hi, I want to show you this awesome Victorinox officer's knife that I'm going to put up for sale on either my Etsy shop or eBay. Haven't decided which platform to use yet, but as always I'll include those contact points at the end of the video. This is a great knife. I believe it to be a Fisherman. It dates from somewhere in the 60s and it's practically new. This knife came from the estate of a renowned knife collector and author who had a store up in Virginia. But that's all I'll say about that, because the provenance doesn't mean anything. It's the condition of the knife speaks for itself. But let's just take a look at it. The first thing that you notice, and the way you can date this back, to the earliest age, is the bail or the shackle. They started putting rings on the knives in 1968. So this knife is not really any older than that. It has all the other vintage features that you would expect. It does not have invisible rivets. I'm sorry, it does not have visible rivets, because they went to the invisible rivets in 1961. But the bail, again, that ended in 1968. So it has these Celador scales, and it has a nickel-silver Victorinox shield inlay as opposed to the inox or stainless steel inlay. And this, the only thing that really I could find that is not perfect about this knife is that shield is like burnished or tarnished just on half of it, like maybe it's sitting in a box or a display or something, and I don't know. But I tried to clean that and it didn't budge. So yeah, I didn't want to mess too much with this knife because it's perfect as it is. But let me just show you the rest of it. And the first thing that's really cool, of course, well, the condition. Look at the blade. It's beautiful, factory edge. This knife's never really been used. It was just bought, set aside. But the blade stamp, Victoria, not Victorinox. Not the little double symbol for the crossbow, but just the single crossbow, Victoria, Officer Swiss. And they used that blade stamp from 1968 to 1974. So this knife's probably a 1968 knife, because remember that's when they started using the rings. So it's almost 50 years old. On the other side it reads Victorinox, Switzerland, stainless, rust-free, as you would expect. Victoria was the name of Carl Elsener's company for a short while. After his mother died, I think in 1921 or something, he started using the name Victoria instead of Elsener Swiss. But of course they changed that back to Victorinox, and Victorinox was the name of the company when this knife was produced, but they did use that Victoria name again on the blade stamps from 1968 to 1974. This knife's got it all, man. Here's your, let's just go through it. Here's your can opener, and you'll notice that it's got the Swiss cross and the mysterious PAT, Pat. No, Pat didn't own this knife. That means Swiss patent, of course. And I think the reason they were putting that on the can openers at that time, and you don't find that on them today, is that, when the soldiers, Victorinox was producing half of them and Wenger was producing half of them, and Wenger had to use the Victorinox can opener. And so they had patented that, and they want, I guess, to put that patent on there if Wenger or another company is going to be using it. That's my theory anyway. Here's your screwdriver, cap lifter, wire bender, and a vintage feature here is that it's got a sharpened edge. Nice wire stripping or cable stripping edge there. I wish they still did that, but they don't. Alright. This is another giveaway as far as vintage or the age. Here's your small blade, and it's not a spear point blade, it's a clip point blade. And they stopped, I think the clip point blades, they stopped using those in 1972 or 3. Again, that blade is perfect. Look at the finish on it, the edge. The only thing about these blades is that, there might be like a little scuff at the top edge where they just touch the other tools when they nestle down in there. That's typical. And let's see, what else can we dig out of here? The scissors. I love scissors. Not broken or anything else. Work perfectly. Sharp as the day they were made. You can tell I love this knife. I may not sell it. Oh, and the pièce de résistance. This is how I was like, well, I didn't know what model I was getting actually. I thought I was getting a Huntsman or something, and I found this, and I pulled it out. It's the Fisherman. It's the fish scaler with the hook disgorger. So you catch your fish, you know, and you got to get the hook out of its mouth. You put it in the crook of the hook and pop it out, and then you scale your fish. So cool. Anyway, I think, oh, another vintage feature, the tweezers. This one does have tweezers and a toothpick. The tweezers have an aluminum tip or cap, not plastic. And you can see those are problem-free. And then here's your toothpick. Just plastic or nylon or something, a little yellowed with age. Probably wouldn't put it in my mouth. Okay, what else did we look at here? Fluted corkscrew. Did we look at that? Reamer with no sewing eye. Super sharp. Perfect. There she is. So there you have it. There you've got a beautiful Swiss Victorinox officer knife, Fisherman model, almost 50 years old. Get that in focus. In new condition, or very near new condition, and so I think it's just awesome. So here it is. You get a chance to get, you know, the awesome Swiss Army knife that your dad never passed down to you. Appreciate you watching, and go take a look at this knife. I think you'd be very happy to own it.